My name is Pontius Pilate. I was the governor of Rome over the province of Judea. My emperor, Tiberius Julius Caesar Augustus, appointed me over the region. It was a region that was filled with these religious fanatics who worshipped this god of their ancestors. As long as they didn't cause a stir, I didn't care. But that happened more often than I'd like to admit. So they brought him in at dawn, this Jesus of Nazareth. I wasn't ready for another dispute from these religious nut jobs, especially not during Passover, when the city was swarmed with Jews who were from all around who were making their pilgrimage to their holy city. During this time, the smallest spark could ignite a riot. My duty, very simple. I had to keep the peace, I had to preserve Rome's order, and I had to protect my position. And yet, when I saw him, I knew this wouldn't be so simple. He stood before me, bound and beaten, before I even saw him for the first time. But there wasn't panic in his eyes or desperation. In fact, there was this moment when he looked me right in the eyes, and there wasn't defiance or fear. It was like he was looking through me. He was examining me. So I stepped forward in front of the crowd and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" Their answer was evasive and impatient. They wanted judgment without evidence, and they wanted blood without a trial. If he were not doing evil, they said, we would not have delivered him to you. I scoffed. Then judge him yourselves. However, they could not. They wanted an execution, but only Rome could authorize that for them. So, time to do my job, I suppose. I took him away inside, away from all the shouting and all the politics, and I asked him very simply something I had heard. Are you the king of the Jews? Now, he didn't answer like an accused man. Most people, when they come in here, they're desperate, they're pleading, they make up all kinds of excuses or spout some kind of nonsense. Seen it a million times before, I'll see it a million times again. However, this Jesus was different. He replied, "Do you ask this of me on your own accord, or do others say it of me?" What? His words were unsettling. I snapped back, "Am I a Jew? Your own people delivered you to me. What have you done?" Then he spoke again, calm and unshaken. He said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight. But my kingdom is not from here. A kingdom without soldiers, a king without rebellion. What was going on?" So, I said carefully, "So you are a king?" He replied, "You say that I am." Okay, Jesus. "For this reason I was born," he continued, "to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Truth. I laughed, a hollow laugh in that moment. What is truth? But I had heard enough. I went out back out to the crowd and I declared, "I find no guilt in him." Thought this would be the end of it. They wanted an official judgment. Here it is. He's innocent. However, this didn't quench the fire like I was hoping it would. They roared back accusations, something about insurrection, influence over the people, and then I heard something about Galilee, and that's when it hit me. Okay, well, Galilee, I saw my chance to kind of be done with this, and so I sent him to Herod. He's over Galilee. I'll wash my hands of this, and somebody else will deal with him. So Jesus was carried off to Herod, and I took a breath of relief. I mean, I didn't like Herod that much, but you know, whatever. He was a colleague. Nevertheless, before long, Jesus was sent back, again, uncondemned. I talked with Herod myself, and as we were both talking, we agreed, this Jesus guy, he's innocent. He didn't do anything to me. But ultimately, the responsibility comes back to me, whatever. I'll do my job.
It was around this time that a message came to me from my wife. The messenger said it was urgent. Apparently she said, "Don't have anything to do with Jesus. He's an innocent man, and I had nightmares this morning because of him." What is going on? Who is this guy? Okay, fine. I have one more trick up my sleeve. I'll get him off my plate. I offered him a choice. It's customary that on a holy day, I will release one of the prisoners on death row. And so I asked him, "Who shall I release to you? Jesus, the King of the Jews, or Barabbas?" So you see, I was familiar with this Barabbas guy. He was a murderer. He was a rebel, an insurrectionist. He certainly deserved death, no questions asked. I thought for sure that they would choose Jesus to be freed long before they would choose Barabbas. Decision was easy: a murderer versus a guy who apparently did miracles. The trap was set. It was an easy dichotomy. They would choose to condemn the murder. I would release this Nazarene guy, and then justice was served. I could go on my way. The hubris to think that I was in control. Of course, they chose Barabbas. Of course they did. What else could go wrong? I felt the trap that I had laid so perfectly close in around me. My plan backfired. Yielding to my duties, I had Jesus beaten. I thought, you know what? Maybe pain will satisfy them. That they probably just want a spectacle, so there it is. Have him beaten, then we'll be done. Admittedly, felt sick to my stomach. I was punishing a man who I thought was innocent. But alas, part of my job, whatever. Surely the crowd will be satisfied, won't have any riots, we'll be good to go. I could go back to my regular business. So I brought Jesus back out again before them, and I shouted, "Behold, here is the man." And there he stood, Jesus. His back and his front, every piece of him was bloody and bruised. I'm pretty sure I could see parts of bone on him. And there was a moment of calm where the rabble, they were making their regular murmurs, but nothing louder than a grumble. And I could breathe. Finally, it was over. Suddenly, "Crucify him!" I hear a voice break through the grumbles. "Crucify him!" A moment of calm that shattered like glass. 1,000 voices began shouting and chanting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" My heart fell into my stomach. I felt something that I feared. I didn't fear Jesus. I feared this ensemble of religious nut jobs. I feared my mother, Rome. I feared losing everything. The Jews said something about this man claiming to be the Son of God. Like, okay, that happens every now and again. He seems pretty unremarkable to me, if you ask me. Probably just said some things that ticked off the Pharisees. That happens from time to time, whatever. So I turned to Jesus and I asked him one last time, "Where are you from?" And he didn't answer. I was starting to get angry. "Jesus," I said with my voice heavy with desperation, "don't you know that I have the authority to release you and the authority to crucify you?" He looked at me, steady, calm, as he had been this whole time, unshaken and unmoved. And he said to me, "You would have no authority unless it were given to you from above." From above. Looking back, that was the moment that I realized I wasn't judging him. He was exposing me. The crowd threatened me. "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar's," they said. That was the final blow. I'm done with it. I had some water brought to me in a bowl, and I washed my hands before them, symbolic, to clarify that I am no longer involved in this nonsense. I declared to them, I am innocent of this man's blood. And I washed my hands and sent him away. But even as I said it, I knew it was a lie. I didn't free him. I handed him over. I sent him away. I killed him. As they led him away, something in me broke. I had power. I had authority, and I used neither of these to do what was right, what I knew was right. Rome would remember this as another execution among thousands. The crowd would remember it as dealing with some heretic. But me, I would remember the silence of a man who refused to fight back. The eyes of a king whose throne bewildered me. And the proof of a truth that I didn't have the courage to face. I should have listened to my wife.